And now we have a message especially for the children in the congregation. So if you are a child or you are young at heart, this is your time. Come up close to the, well, not too close to the TV, but come up and pay attention right now. And I'm wondering, have you ever argued with your best friend? I know I've argued with my best friend. What I really want to know, though, is after you argue with your best friend, what do you do to let them know that you still love them, that you're still best friends even though you argued? Or when your parents get really upset at you, because I know all of our parents get upset at us once in a while, how do they remind you that even though you did something that annoyed them, they still love you? Sometimes I have been so surprised by love. I know when I do something bad to someone, you know what I think? I expect them to be really upset with me, don't you? When you do something bad, you expect people to be upset with you. And then maybe I'll get a message from that person that I did something bad to, and they say they want to meet with me. And I'm like, uh-oh, oh no. Now I'm going to get it. They're going to come over and they're going to tell me how horrible I was. And since I'm a pastor, I can't be like, no, I don't want to meet with you. I got to meet with them, right? Because that's what a pastor does. And so when they show up, I'm ready for them to be so angry and mean to me, you can't believe it. But this one time, someone like that showed up, someone I had done something wrong to on accident. And the person came and they arrived with cookies, and they simply said, I want to thank you for being so wonderful. And I was like, what? And my jaw dropped to the floor. I mean, it literally dropped to the floor. There was a hole in the floor where my jaw hit. It was so surprised. I couldn't believe it. I expected them to yell at me. I didn't know what to do because they were showing kindness to me instead. Have you ever been surprised by love like that? If you haven't, I hope you will someday. Because we all do bad things, don't we? But I know that love is more powerful than all the bad things we do. And I know that love can surprise us once in a while. Take the story we're going to hear in just a minute, okay? So in this story, here's what's happening. Peter and Jesus just had an argument. I bet you didn't know that Jesus argued once in a while, did you? Well, Peter and Jesus had an argument. See, Jesus said something that Peter didn't like. Jesus said that he was going to Jerusalem and that he was going to die there. And Peter was like, no way. I bet you can understand Peter's reaction, can't you? He was like, no, this can't happen. You stop talking like that, Jesus. I won't let anyone hurt you. Peter screamed and yelled at Jesus and told him to shut up. But then Jesus looked at Peter and he said, get behind me, Satan. Those are some pretty powerful words, aren't they? Jesus told Peter to be quiet. And after that, Peter and Jesus didn't talk to each other for 6 whole days. For 6 days, they didn't say a thing to each other. They must have been really angry. Have you ever been that angry at someone that you didn't talk to them for a whole week? But we know that bad things can't stop God's love, right? And so in the story we're going to hear, it's going to pick up right at the end of those 6 days. And Jesus has a special treat for Peter. You expect, like when that person who brought me cookies, I was expecting them to yell at me instead. You expect Jesus to keep, being angry at Peter, but instead, Jesus wanted to remind Peter how much he loved him. And so Jesus took Peter on a special trip to see a miracle. A miracle. That had to be a wonderful treat. So much better than cookies. Jesus showed Peter a miracle. You know, when I'm angry, I like to keep fighting with people. It's hard to show them that I still love them, even when I'm angry. But God shows us that every day. With sunshine, the sun today was beautiful, and rain and snow, food and water, hugs and kisses, and so much more. I'm sure we do a lot of things that upset God, a lot of bad things that God doesn't like. But no matter what bad things we do, that'll never, ever, ever get in the way of God's love. I wish someday my love could be as awesome as God's. I wish that someday my love could be as great as Jesus's. Will you say a prayer with me? Hey, repeat after me. Say, God, you're amazing. Thank you for loving us, especially when we don't deserve it. But it's when we've been bad that we need your love the most. Thank you for loving us. You're amazing. Amen.